Happy Monday and welcome into another edition of 3 Point Stands presented by Mountain Dew. It was a great weekend, and so I'm Megan and I got John Roser, and we've got all the wrap up from everything that happened. And let's start with the NFL. All right, so we had the NFC and the AFC Divisional, and shocking games, I would say. What was your biggest shock? Kansas City's comeback, they were down 24-0 and came back and defeated the Texans, or my Titans defeating the number one team in the division, the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, I mean, obviously, the Titans beating the Ravens. Look, it's a pretty shocking thing, but we've seen that before. We've seen a wild card team beat the number one seed before in the divisional round. Like it's not the first time that's happened. What is the first time that's ever happened in NFL playoff history is a team being up by 20 or more points and then losing by 20 or more points. That had never happened before, and that's exactly what happened in Kansas City yesterday, where the Texans took a 24-0 lead, and then they didn't blow it. It didn't take them the game to blow it. They blew it in the very next quarter to Kansas City, and the Chiefs end up winning 51-31. Patrick Mahomes is going to the AFC Championship game for the second straight season.
You know,
that's the biggest shocker to me.
Look, it was a big shocking game. You know, the Grizzlies were playing at the same time, so like I had written them off. In my head, I was like, okay, I'm not keeping up with the score anymore. There's no way that they're going to win. However, and I know you said it, we've seen a wild card team get this far, but it's the Titans. This is, and maybe I'm biased. I could be very biased. I'm going to admit to that. However, at the beginning of the season, no one was talking about the Titans. I wasn't talking about the Titans. I wasn't even really watching the Titans. I was like, there's no way we're going to even do anything. We don't even have the quarterback that we thought was going to carry us the whole entire way. We have Tannehill, and not everyone was behind Tannehill being this quarterback for us. We thought that, you know what, we're going to figure some pieces out. You know, next year, what's going to happen? We kind of just written it all off. But the fact that we go up to Baltimore, defeat them like they did, Lamar Jackson, that has been the story of the whole entire season. And this is no discredit to Lamar. I think he still had an amazing year. He should win all the accolades off of that. But that looked pretty darn good. Like, I watched that whole game and I was like, there's no way we're going to win this game. I was like, are we?
I mean, I'm dominated.
I was like, are we? Do we have a chance right now? And Derrick Henry was a beast. He looked like Derrick Henry from Alabama years. And that was just shocking. I was still living over my high being the Patriots. And then you add this one. I'm just like, Titans was Super Bowl this point for me.
If you had to name an MVP of the NFL playoffs right now so far, I mean, Derrick Henry's it. I mean, like when you run for, I mean, Ryan Tannehill does not have to do that much right now because Derrick Henry is doing what he's doing. When you run for 180 yards a game or whatever, over 180 and then 100 and whatever he had against the Patriots, like you control the clock, you control the tempo of the game, and Derrick Henry has been the best player in the playoffs so far.
Yeah, you know, and I'll give you this. Patrick Mahomes did say he was even optimistic. He said going down 24-0, he was optimistic, but obviously he was going to give it his all. And now, as a Titans fan, I'm a little nervous about I'm nervous about playing anyone, but this one I'm like, oh goodness.
I would be too. Patrick Mahomes is scary if you're on defense against him. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's move on to some college football. Tonight is the night. It is the national championship. It is the moment we've all been waiting for. It is LSU, Joe Burrow, the Heisman winner, taking on the Clemson Tigers. You got Dabo Swinney. They've been here a couple of times, and they have, Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback that everyone's talking about, Mr. Sunshine that I call him. Who is your pick to win tonight's big game?
I'm going to go with Clemson. I like Clemson, especially with the point spread, the 5.5. I'll take Clemson. I'll definitely tell people I'd take Clemson first half spread plus 3.5. I'll take Clemson first half money line too. I think Clemson's going to be winning this game at halftime. Dabo loves that underdog role. Loves to always say how nobody wants us to be here. We're not supposed to be here. Nobody wants us.
But he's always here. We all expect you to be here at this point.
You have 40 NFL players on your roster. out of here. You know, like after they killed Virginia like 60-something to 17 in the ACC championship, he's like, "Well, Clemson, they don't want us to do this." Like, God, shut up, dude. Y'all, but he for real gets to play that tonight. He can really get to play that up. Technically, it's a road game. It's in New Orleans. LSU, you know they're going to have the crowd on their side. You're probably looking at 70-30, 65-35, something like that, LSU fans. Anybody who's walking up the day of the game and buying tickets from scalpers, they're going to be LSU fans. So they are going to be an underdog tonight. They are an underdog on the Vegas line. They're going to be an underdog because basically it's a road game. And he really gets to play that up. Look, Trevor Lawrence has never lost. And so until he does, you know, I'll roll with him. I'll take Clemson.
You know what? You know, I am a Clemson Dabo Swinney fan. However, I do feel as if this is the year for LSU. Joe Burrow and what they've been able to do. I guess it's hard to count them out and not go with them, especially when you look at everyone that they have beaten. They've beaten some big teams, and how they beat Oklahoma. Like, I had LSU to win that game. I didn't have them to win like they did. And for Clemson, I have loved how they play. They have so many NFL players on that roster. But they have played a lot of games very, very close. That Ohio State game, honestly, that could have gone either way when you look at that.
Carolina, those were the two. The Ohio State game was close and the North Carolina game was close.
Yeah,
they killed everybody.
And then you haven't really, because of their conference, they haven't played these teams like LSU has. And then obviously the game is in New Orleans. Like, that is a huge, huge factor. Clemson fans, they travel. But you know, LSU, Baton Rouge is about, what, an hour away? That place is going to be packed. Their hype video that they released got me all hyped. I really do think this is LSU's game to win. And it's not a knock for what Clemson has done this year. Trevor Lawrence is an absolutely amazing quarterback. They have a great team. Dabo Swinney can come in there and shock everybody. But I got LSU. I would love to see Coach O at the end of this give his little victory speech. He's had an amazing story. That whole program has had an amazing story for what they've come from. And, you know, people counting them out, and they've built this kind of program back up, which didn't really fall off after the whole Les Miles thing. But they had to get through Alabama, and they did that. And that's always been the biggest thing. And that Oklahoma win, I got LSU winning this game.
Okay.
All right.
It's a pros versus Joes game. I read this is going to be the most bet-on game in college football history, and it is. The public is all on LSU, and all of the people, the professional gamblers, people who do this day in and day out, are all on Clemson.
Do you have money on this game? Can you tell me? No.
My play would be I'd do Clemson plus 3.5 first half. I'd do Clemson first half money line, and then for the whole game, I'd do Clemson plus the 5.5, and I'd take LSU on the money line to win the game.
Oh, okay. Let's get to our third topic of the day. It's kind of been the news taking over. It's not even just entertainment. It's on just every little thing. Harry and Meghan are stepping down from their senior royal duties, and people have a lot to say about this. You've got Oprah, Obama coming out and trying to speak on their behalf. However, some people are blaming Meghan for all of this. And, you know, right after this weekend, it came out that Meghan signed a deal with Disney. Now they want to be independent, and they're going to be splitting their time in the UK and in North America. They haven't said if it's going to be in the US or Canada. What is your stance on all of this? Is it Meghan's fault? Are you shocked by it all?
Well, I'm not surprised that the British papers, tabloids, are blaming the American for this. I mean, they don't want to live their own lives. Let them live their own lives. They're adults. Like, if they don't want to be a part of the royal family and they kind of want to do their own thing and live their own life, then guess what? They're adults. They should be allowed to do that. I would tell them, go live in Canada. Like, you, because if they live here, like, they're going to live in probably Los Angeles or New York, and you just got paparazzi everywhere. Like, go live in Canada, and, you know, if you don't want to be bothered or anything, go live in Canada. If you want the paparazzi around you, then go to LA, go to New York, yeah.
You know what? I see them in LA or Toronto. However, you know, Trevor Noah, he had a whole snippet on this. SNL went crazy with it as well. But Trevor Noah said it best. He was like, "Why are you guys so shocked? He married a black woman that no one wanted him to marry, and of course she went in and said, You gonna have to make your own money, get out your grandmama's house, and we're gonna do our own thing. And I love that, but I don't blame Meghan at all. I don't think it's a Meghan thing. I do think that if you look at and I follow the royals a little bit, Prince Harry has always had a problem with being in the public eye. He still blames, the paparazzi for Princess Diana's death, and he's always had that issue, but he knew that that was his royal duty. And I think now that he has a wife who supports him and says, do what makes you happy. You don't have to, I will do whatever. And obviously she can now do her career, because when they say to make money independently, they couldn't make money on speeches, on any jobs, because they make money from their taxpayer, the parliament's, money over there. So now they're saying that we want to make our own money. They can make a deal with Disney. And there's a clip of Harry at the Lion King premiere talking to a Disney executive saying hey, it's so funny. It came out last night. Hey, Meghan can do voiceovers too. And now she's signing a deal with Disney as a voiceover person. And I think it's great. And for anyone, do what makes you happy. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I'm not surprised people are blaming the American. She's a Black woman who came into this job or this role that a lot of people were not happy with. And I love it. Whatever makes people happy. I think it's crazy how people have gone just.
Whoa. This is the second time you have said this. I'm dead serious. Meghan Markle is Black?
She is mixed. She is Black and white.
I thought she was white, just had a really good tan. I'm dead serious. I had no idea. I had no idea. I just thought she was really tan.
Her mom is African American and her dad is white.
This is why I do this with you here.
This is why we have 3-point stands to get this information out there.
Right now it is 8:49 a.m. and I always say you learn something new every day. 8:49 a.m. I've been up for about 40 minutes and I've already learned something new for the day.
Well, then what? We're done. What else more can we say? I hope everyone else learns.
I don't think you can say anything else after that.
All I can say is thank you for watching this edition of 3-Point Stands presented by Mountain Dew. We'll try to inform the people next week. Roser, same time, same place next week. I know you'll be watching the national championship game and have a lot to say.
I got to get on the Wikipedia more.